been in there
because you
twice.
can't evaluate you if they didn't. So they've already been in there and already gave you an informal. There's going to be a whole bunch more between now and, in fact, new teachers required twice a month, right?
Yeah, they were there twice.
Feels like it's every day.
Yeah, somebody different every day. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know if I'm doing good or if I'm.
I know.
Is it a requirement for the dean?
Detrimental or is it?
That's their job.
Okay.
They're kind of an academic coach, if you will, in steroids.
So you get your VP, your evaluator, and then also the dean.
Right. Let's talk about Madera Unified for a moment in the city of Madera. I don't know how many of you live in Madera. All right, all right. I live right around the corner, 6/10 of a mile away. I could walk to work if I didn't have to go to 3 schools every day. Here's what I know. 90% of Madera Unified qualifies for free and reduced lunch. That means that they're struggling with poverty. 90% are struggling with poverty. That's a pretty crazy number. 30% of our students are EL students. When we look at scores, we see overall for the district that reading scores are 30% of our students meet the standard in ELA, and what? It's like 18 or 20% in math are meeting the standard in the Unified. When we look at students who frankly look like you, pretty diverse crowd this evening, right? When we look at students of color, when we look at students of single parenthoods, when we look at students that are in foster care, when we look at students that are homeless, there is what we call an achievement gap compared to the national average. That's just a fact. There is an achievement gap, and all those subcategories fit Madera Unified. Your students need excellent teachers that are willing to go the extra mile. I hope that's why you got into teaching. It's not the paycheck, right? You look at that, some of you are like, this is my first full-time job. Well, who the heck is FICA? What the heck is It's not actually FICA, it's STIRS. Who's STIRS? Took $1,000 out of my check. What the heck? You didn't get involved because you're going to get summers off, because most of you end up working the summers anyway, because you need money, you need summer school, and you were doing your thing. But you got it because you love kids. You want to see them succeed. So I hope that you do everything you can to close that achievement gap and help our students succeed. So let me just say that we could send you to another district anywhere 30 miles from here, and you would have great, amazing students, and life would be easy, but chances are your students may not even remember you. In Madera Unified, you're literally saving lives by doing what you do and changing the course and destiny of our students, and they will look up to you as rock stars. Men, you may be the only male stable relationship in their life. Think about that for a moment. How many kids are coming to us, single families, and they're just living with mom? A lot, especially at the high school level. Families are torn apart. The amount of influence that you have in Madera, the amount of reward that you're going to get from changing lives is incredible. So welcome. You're going to make a life-changing experience this year in being a champion for these students. All right, I'm going to get off my preaching box now. Let's talk about internship for a moment. All right, so you graduated college. You satisfied CBEST. You satisfied subject matter competency. You enrolled in a university. Which one did you go to?
FPU.
FPU. Great school for one of the best at preparing teachers, but you got to have a lot of do-re mi. Okay. Passed the U.S. Constitution because you took a U.S. history class when you were in college, so that satisfied it. You're good to go. Your credentials is good for 2 years. And there might even be a waiver on the other end of it. Your credentials actually worth good for 3 years as an intern. So that's kind of like a safe harbor. Right, I told you, Stip, man, you got till May 31st. Well, I'm an intern, I got 2 years. All right. While you're an intern, the bad news is you've enrolled in 2024. So special ed teachers still have to pass the reading assessment for California teachers called RECA. And you still have teacher performance assessments. Unless you're at Fresno State, then it's called the Fresno Assessment of Student Teaching, or FAST. Same thing, it's a TPA. All right. You want to hear the bad news?
It's not going away.
In 2025, RECA's going away. It's going to be embedded in the program, and there's a 80% chance that TPAs are also gone.
Can we just hold off until
Along
then?
with, you can, well, that means you know you didn't enroll in the program. You know, you grandfathered in. And what CTC says is when you start with these standards, you can't change. So you're stuck. Okay, but it gets worse for you interns. And I printed out something, you can read it later, like I said, because I know you're bored and have plenty of time. And you know, in between the halftime show on Sunday during the 49er game, you can read it. Interns, you have to have 144 hours of support for the year, split between the district and the university. So interns, you have 2 mentors, one from the district and one from the university. My guess is the one from the university is going to require an hour a week after school. Just know that going in. You also need EL support, which is what our mentors are doing, but there's also resources on campus to help you with that. You're taking classes, and it feels like a full-time load, and you're working full-time, and coaching basketball or something else. I talked to one of my guys, he's coaching track and field and or cross country right now, and track and field in the spring. I'm like, oh, you're nuts. So I would just challenge you, interns, learn a new English word.
No.
No. We're not going to evaluate you based on all these extra duties and assigned. We're only evaluating you when it's happening in the classroom. All right, so being an intern is a rough road to go. GPAs, classes, tests. Here's what we're going to offer you. CTE peeps, you're good, but everyone else, if you still have RECA, if you still have TPA, if you still have FAST, we want you starting around the 15th or 18th of September to come to this room on Mondays from 4 to 6, and we'll help you with those assessments and tests. If nothing else, we'll just pay you to be here. I'm serious as a heart attack. We'll put you on a timesheet, and we'll provide resources for you. If you're trying to take the NATSE CSET, we'll make sure we've got a math teacher here to help you. If you're trying to pass RECA, we'll do our best to get reading instructors or whatever, or we'll pull resources, or we'll go on the web for you, or we'll quiz you, or we'll give you a quiet place to go just so you can get it done, so you have accountability and making sure that you're crossing the finish line. Okay? So those are my STIPs that have to pass CSET, and my interns that have to pass TPAs, and you have RECA, and you have CTE people. What the heck? Man, you guys have the easiest route in the world to get your credential. Yeah. Okay.
I'm almost stressed out about like 6 weeks worth of classes.
So Mondays from 4 to 6 in this room, around the 18th, whatever that Monday is of that week. We're gonna. I can't require you, but I really, really, really want you here. And if we have enough space, then we'll go find a bigger space and figure it out. But we want you here to get, if nothing else, think about this. I'm going to pay you to do the things you're always supposed to do. You know, can you use an extra $100 a week? 2 hours, right? It's $50 an hour or whatever it is. I don't know, $40 an hour, $80. I don't get extra pay. I just show up. So know that's coming. Interns, you've taken the hardest road there is to become a teacher. So, knowing that, to our PIC teachers, we want you to survive. We're going to do everything we can to help you survive. When you finish and get a preliminary general ed or special ed credential, we're going to help you thrive. And then we'll talk about growth and induction, and that's a whole nother conversation for a different time. All right.
I have a quick question, and just out of curiosity, so do STIPs and PIPs not have to do the TPAs?
Until you become an intern.
And then by the time they do that,
Very
they'll be on?
possible. I don't know.
Okay.
That was
Curious.
not decided yet by the commission and legislature. The Commission on Teacher Credentialing recommended it to the legislature, but it hasn't been passed as law yet. So I said it's 80% that I think it's going to happen, but we don't know yet.
Yeah.
RECA for sure. has been embedded into the credentialing classes, so she has to pass rank, so does all of our elementary school teachers on the multiple subject had to pass RECA. Now, instead of pass RECA, it's satisfy RECA. You can still take the test, or you can take the classes, and most everybody's going to just choose the classes and away you go. So, but that doesn't start until the fall of 2025 for RECA, and we haven't heard the final decision yet on TPA or FAST. Okay. All y'all are meeting with your mentor at least 1 hour, probably 2 or 3 hours a week. 1 hour of that will be what we're calling mentoring support for the PICS program. Okay? So I'm going to ask you to do 2 things for me, and actually I'm only going to ask the Gen Ed teachers to do 2 things for me, and CTE you only have to do 1 thing. So those of you that are a PIP, STIP, or intern must complete a plan to complete. Your mentor probably already shows you Google Classroom and that assignment that's in there, yes? Okay. If you haven't seen or heard this, let me know. I have all kind of copies of it. You might even gotten one tonight. You need to complete this, and the university, if you're in a university system, has to sign off on it by September 9th. It's when it's due across the street, and it's due in the Google Classroom. If you're going to national, we know that they can be slow on signing documents. Before September 9th, at least turn in what you got, saying signature pending or whatever, waiting for national to get back to me. But please don't just not do it. At least show the district that you're making an effort to get it done and turn in what you have. This is a requirement of your credential. That's where we got the idea. But it's great to know that the district wants to know what you're doing, and so does your administrator. In fact, Kim is scheduling Zoom meetings with you, your administrator, and herself, so the 4 of us will meet to discuss your plan to complete in the next 30 days. You may have even gotten invites already, I don't know. Is that letter's gone out yet? I haven't seen it, but she's working on a calendar. Okay? So, if you're a SPED teacher, or you're a Gen Ed, PIP, STIP, intern, gotta fill this out. CTE peeps, you're good. We don't need it. Your plan to complete as you get in your plan. All right. The second thing I'm going to ask you to do are 7, count them, 7 journals. Your mentor should have already gotten you into the class. If not, the join code is on your agenda. Use your Madera Unified email address and join the class. Down towards the bottom. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do. 3 of those journals are based on a video that you're going to have to do of yourself and pull some data from, and your mentor's going to pull some data from, and you're going to have a conversation about that. 3 of the 7 journals are about those self videos. If you're doing TPEs already, you already know all about it. Very similar, not as intense. We're asking for 20 minutes. We're not asking for all the papers to go with it. We just want you to sit down, do some data collecting, reflect on your teaching. And hopefully it gets you to that point where you say, I need some work on it. I want to adjust this. Oh man, this is not going good. How do I fix that? And you'll see it in the video. Okay? 2 of my journals are, there's some questions we want you to ask and answer. How's it going? What are you doing? How's this? And it's pretty simple. It takes a half hour. 1 of the journal is a self-assessment of your teaching using a tool called the Continuum of Teaching Practice. And it's going to ask you, where are you at right now in your teaching practice? And then we're going to compare that to the spring, or actually, again next year. And then when you get to induction, we'll do it again. And it's going to show growth over time. And 1 journal is just a summary of your year. What are you learning? What are some challenges? Where are you at? What are you excited about? What are you concerned about? And that's our last journal. We tried to make this all about you and to make it very meaningful and not just, I got to do this to take care of the requirement. Okay? Here's how it's going to work though. I've hired 2 people who will remain anonymous. They have weird names like Mick Reader or Pick Reader, and they're going to read all your material all year long, okay? And they're going to grade your stuff based on a rubric, and either give you a thumbs up, meets the standard, we give you a 1, or a thumbs down. It doesn't meet the standard, can you redo? Can you fix this? They're going to grade it within 7 days of its due date. If it's not turned in, because the greatest irony I've learned in this position is teachers who demand things be turned in on time don't turn things in on time. So after 7 days, my reader's gonna email you, hey, this is missing. They're gonna highlight your mentor to let them know too. We didn't get September's journal. I'll let you know it's overdue. 5 days later, my reader's going to say, hey, I haven't got a response, and then I'm going to email, but listen carefully, I'm going to email you, your mentor, and your administrator. I'm going to put you on blast. Is that how the kids say it? Yeah. Is it still cool to say it like that? No. I've never been the cool guy, right? Ask me someday about my first year teaching in the grade. You don't want me to do that anymore. I'm going to hold you accountable to get it done. Because if you get to know me, you realize I hate paperwork. What I do like is reflection. And that's what I need you to do. Is be a reflective teacher. Think, how can I get better at this? And so you're talking about all these things with your mentor, because I'm telling them the same thing, right? All you're going to do is throw it on paper. If you will do that for me, SPED and Gen Ed teachers, I will work with you to shorten your induction experience from 2 years to 1. Turn this stuff in on time. It makes a case for us to help persuade your administrators and look, they're on the ball, they're an overachiever, that's in the classroom. You only need 1 more year of support. Because induction is normally 2 years to get your clip. Okay? Turn your stuff in on time. All right. Failure to satisfactorily participate may reduce. Who holds your credential, STIP teachers? Who issued the credential for you as a STIP? The district office did. So then when you come knocking on the door and say, I want to be intern, and I go to Joe and say, they didn't do anything. Here's my emails, here's my conversations, here's my message to TSM. We get to the end of the year, and I say, they didn't do anything. They're not in compliance. And you want to be an intern? We're going to say, look, we know how hard it is being an intern. I don't think they can handle it. So, help me with that. 1 hour a week of your time with your mentors is about the conversation. You've got to make that satisfactory plan to complete. So, if you're an intern, how many years do you have? 2. And then what? You got to be a preliminary credential. What if we get to the end and you didn't finish? Not a whole lot we can do for you.
And then does this make it 3?
Pardon? Yes. What if we get to the end of 3 years though, and we're not done? There's not a lot that we can do, right? If you're not eligible for a STIP because you already used it, and now you finish your internship eligibility and you're still not finished because you got a TPA in and out or whatever, there is literally nothing we can do. If you don't have a credential to teach, we can't have you in a classroom. It gets complicated in a hurry. Do you see a sense of urgency here? When does the district need to know if you're making progress? What's the date I gave you? May 30. We got to know. All right? We're going to ask you, and your TSMs are going to organize this for you, to go out and observe your peers at least twice a semester. You're going to learn a lot from going out and checking out how things are going in other classes. CTE peeps, don't stick to your curriculum, man. Go see what they're doing in the gen ed classes. Look at classroom procedures. Look how they decorate the classroom. Look how desks are arranged. How do they handle kids that want to go to the bathroom? All those kind of questions that you have, go watch them. And because honestly, your administrators are kind of comparing you to our gen ed population. They just are. All right? We're going to ask you to go look at that. We'd love to hear you to go see classroom management. 2 layers of support. We're going to be talking about what's going on in the classroom, and we're going to give you credentialing support. All right? So you just know that. Whatever we can do to help you. I think Joe said if you came to new teacher orientation, we're going to do everything we can to make sure you don't fail. All right? So this is pretty big. All right. And you're going to have reflective conversations. with your mentees. Okay. There's one more document that I thought, oh, I know what it is. I have one more document to get, but in the meantime, would you take one of these, pass it around, don't sing the beer song. Read through it, and then sign it, and don't forget the back row, and put them in the center of the table. I have one more document to get, and it's got warm in here.
A lot of people.
Yeah, I got too much hot air going on.
See, mine's hot. But as those buttons, it's still hot in there.
It's not so cold.
Yeah. So I go back in. Here you want some? That's all right at my side. You want a cool one? No.
SRC, bro.
He does SRC for me.
So put your name on that, sign it, date it. I know if you're married, you forgot what a date is. Everybody got that joke? You got it? The internship requirements are in this packet, so I want to make sure you have that. And so is the short-term staff permit. You have that information that you can read tonight. I know most of you are highly educated and don't need me to read it to you. Hope. I think I saw a picture. You guys know Ryan River at the high school? The picture of that guy? River Bruce.
Yeah.
River Bruce. He was on Twitter because he was at the 49er game taking pictures. What? Our digital media guys, right? All right, I'm going to pass one more document around that I need you to complete. It's going to ask for your social security and birth date, and you're like, geez, why do you need that? Well, just so you know, I love to fish, and I need a new boat, so who's got the good credit? I'm teasing. The only way that I can interact with the Commission on Teacher Credentialing on your behalf is through your social security and birth date. So I'm going to ask you for that, and then I want you to check the boxes and tell me where you're at on the, this is a work history form, this gets us started, we put it in the files. Jessica and I are the only two people in the world that are going to look at it. It doesn't get mailed or sent, it stays in this building and is carefully guarded so that no one else has access to it. So, nothing to worry about. you put those two docs in the center of the table.
What is the individualized pathway plan?
Plan to complete, I should have changed that. I made the change, I forgot to change it in the doc. If you set that in the use stack, I think if you separate the, yeah.
Yeah, it starts down.
Help me a little bit, so.
Oh. You know,
I think these are the
Maybe
extra
there's two.
ones.
Oh, yeah, they are.
oh yeah, we're good. Sorry, confused myself. Trying to remember how to spell my name.
Okay. All right, last thing, and I'm gonna let you get out at 5:30, not too bad. I wanna say CTE for sure, Sped Gen and Gen Ed, is that, I'm pretty sure it's true too. The more units you have, the better, more you get paid, yes? Okay. Going through your credentialing, you're getting more units, that helps. But you gotta get all the way over to 75 units. I think for CTE, they give you experience, right? And some of that, the professional training you went through, kind of get some of those units. But if you will pull the one like that, and it says their classroom management method, there is 4 units for this class. $300. Somebody said FPU, where do you go, FPU? How many dollars per unit? Like $400 or $500 a unit?
Around, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna charge you $75 a unit, University of San Diego. If you'll come to these 10 sessions on classroom management, starting tomorrow night, Mad Tech, 4 o'clock to 5:30. Hopefully this is not the first time you're hearing about it. Your mentors have talked about it, we tried emailing you, we tried announcing it. We had a new teacher orientation, I think. But letting you know, it's starting tomorrow at 4 o'clock. And if you want the units, you need your high needs in the seats, right? If you don't need the units, but you still want to take the classes, you can audit, you can look at the videos, you can join the classroom, you can cherry pick which ones you want to come to. I will tell you that in classroom management, it's a layered support. So we're going to start with building blocks, and each week, each time we meet, we're building on what we already learned and applying it in the classroom. But we're going to talk about lesson planning. We're going to talk about your facial expression. We're going to talk about your classroom physical environment and how it's set up. There's all kinds of stuff we're going to do in there. 10 sessions, 4 units, timesheet. You don't pay to be there. The second one is what you see it has right there, and that's using tech in the classroom. So we call it tech savvy teaching. They are not units. There is a timesheet. There's 6 sessions. Come one, come all. So they do not build on one another. They each are standalone professional development. Okay? And the first one is on the things you're already using in the classroom. How do I use Illuminate, Aries, and all those other kind of things. Google Classroom, I forget what else is in there. Right in the middle is something about using tech for assessments and how you can do that. My TSM that's leading that one thinks she's totally excited about that one. My favorite's the one March 18th where it's AI in the classroom. And I saw a demonstration this last year where my science teacher Brian, he threw about 6 sentences into this thing and it built a week's worth of lesson plans, completely lab activities, assessments, rubrics. I mean, it was like, oh my God. In literally 2 minutes using AI. And we can show you how to do that. I want to make sure you get that. Anybody teaching in a co-lab situation? There is a third one, and raise your hand again. For those of you with your hands up, I may have lied a little bit. This one's required. Here's what we want to do. We want to teach you that are in a co-lab situation how to work with your co-lab partner, so that our special ed teacher's not treated like an expensive paraprofessional in the classroom. That you're actually cooperating. How does that look? And we're going to make you come to that. Okay? And I'll tell you, it's a little bit like marriage counseling. How do you work? And we're going to ask your gen ed teachers to come with you. And we're going to ask your sped teachers to come with you. And we can't make them. We're going to try real hard to make it seem like they're being forced to come. To hear the same thing so you're both on the same page and can figure out how to run a classroom as a co-lab is supposed to. Okay? With the exception that if you just went to Madera, if you're at Madera High School, you just had this training. Anyone at Madera High School have this co-lab training? Or did I forget what it is? You're all required to come on this one, I think it's September 25th. All right, you have my undivided attention for the next 45 seconds. Do you have any questions?
Is this document the same one we got for like that first training? So if we already turned it in.
You're good? I just want to make sure, right? I'm just trying to be my Boy Scout best and be prepared. It's in the classroom too. So did you submit it into the classroom?
No.
So scan it and put it in the classroom. Do by September 9th. Any other questions?
So we get paid for our time for this? But then we also have to pay.
Come, we'll actually pay you to get the units for free, right? Because one will wash out the other. $300 for 4 units. That's pretty dang cheap.
Do we have to pay that, because I know I enrolled for it already, but,
June.
okay.
I won't even give you, I won't even give you I won't even let you enroll in the units until we get to the last session, because I don't want anyone to drop out and then say, where's my money? And I'm like, well, that's University of San Diego, I have nothing to do with that, and then it's a mess. So only those that sign up know that they're going to actually get the units. So don't worry about it. But maybe you save $75 a month until then.